Alright, so our directions are find all the zeros of each polynomial. So continuing on the next page, I have x cubed, x squared, 49x minus 441. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm going to go to y is equal to, and I'm going to enter my equation, x to the third power minus 9x squared plus 49x minus 441. When I go ahead and graph, I can see something happening here. I don't know where the rest of the graph is. Let's hope that's a 0. So I go to my table and I'm going to go up and I'm going to look. And there it is. I see a 9 goes in evenly. So I'll synthetically divide a 9 and I'll have a 3, 2, 1, none, 1, negative 9, positive 49, and negative 441. If I do it right, I get a 0. 1 comes down, 9. 9, what the heck? 1 comes down, 1. 9 times 1 is 9. There I have a 0. 9 times 0 is 0. 49. I'm hoping that 9 times 49 is 441. So luckily I have my 0. That leaves me with my constants, my linears, and my quadratics. So I have x squared plus 49 is equal to 0. So x squared is equal to negative 49. X is equal to the square root of negative 49 plus or minus. X is equal to plus or minus I, and then the square root of 49 is 7. Of course, we want to rewrite this because we don't say I7, we say 7I. So we're asked to find all the roots. It was a cubic, so I need to find 3 roots. X is equal to 9. Here's my first root. And then plus or minus 7I. Alright, next up. I have a 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing to factor out. I can't factor 3 out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enter this into my graphing calculator. 2x to the 4th power minus 3x to the 3rd plus 7x squared minus 9x plus 3. When I graph it, I'm hoping to find a 0. So this is interesting here. I'm hoping I see a 0. Oh, there it is. So 1 goes in evenly. Since it's a cube, or since it's a quartic, it would be nice if I had another 0. I'm wondering if 1 is a double root. If I look again, there's a very good chance that that is a double root. We'll try it twice. 2, negative 3, 7, negative 9, and 3. I'm hoping I get a 0. 2 comes down, 2, negative 1, negative 1, positive 6, negative 3, and 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if this 1 is actually a double root, and we'll try it again. 2 comes down, 1 times 2 is 2. This is equal to 1. 1 times 1 is 1. There I have a 6. Uh-oh, wasn't a 0. Did not work out. So let's think about this for a minute. All right, so the synthetic didn't work. So let's go ahead and see, maybe we can factor by grouping. Here's my constant, my linear, quadratic, cubic. So I have 2x cubed minus x squared plus 6x minus 3. When I go to factor by grouping, I can take out a 2 and an x squared, and that leaves me with an x minus 1. I can take out a 3, and that leaves me with a 2, I can't take a 2x out here, just an x squared. And that leaves me with, that works, a 2x minus 1. So I have x squared plus 3 is equal to 0, and I have a 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. My x squared is equal to negative 3, so my x is equal to plus or minus I root 3. My 2x is equal to 1, so my x is equal to 1/2. So when I go back and I find all my solutions of x, remember I'm looking for 4 of them. X is equal to, my first one the calculator gave me was 1. My next real solution was 1/2, and then I had plus or minus I root 3. Remember, those count as 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's take a look at this chart. When I talk about this by name, by degree, I'm looking at a quartic. By terms is a trinomial, which means it has 2 terms and a third degree. And as x approaches negative infinity, because this is, or because my leading coefficient is positive, wait a minute, it's a 4th degree. 4th degree, 3 terms. It's positive, so as x approaches negative infinity, my outcome approaches infinity on both ways, because here we have a graph that looks like this. All right, x to the 5th means that it's quintic, and it's a binomial. It is a 5th degree, so I have 4 terms. Because it's positive, it goes ahead and actually from left to right goes from negative 1, 2, 3, 4 as it goes up. Negative infinity and then positive infinity. There's my disco. Alright, I have a cubic, and pay attention to the negative. So it's a cubic, and it's a polynomial when I have more than 3 terms. I have, it's a 3rd degree, so I have 2 terms, or 2 terms. And because it's a negative, this is the one that 1, 2, 3. It falls from left to right. So as x approaches negative infinity, my output goes towards infinity. When x gets bigger, my outcome becomes smaller. All right, here is a degree quadratic. It's a monomial. So I have 1 turn. This is our parabola that we see. It is to the 2nd degree. And as x approaches positive and negative infinity, it goes up. All right, let's see what we have on the next page. Given the graph of the polynomial, write the equation in factored form. I see a 0 at x is equal to negative 3. I see a 0 at x is equal to negative 1. I see a 0 at x is equal to 1. And a 0 at x is equal to 3. So my equation, y is equal to x plus 1, x minus 1, x plus 3, and x minus 3. And it's positive, so I don't have to worry about a leading coefficient. So here I have another quartic. So I'm going to look for 4 roots. 1, 3 real. This is, we'll call that a double root. So we'll have y is equal to x plus 2 squared. There's my double root. It crosses here at x minus 1. And then I have x minus 6. Given the list of zeros, write an equation of the polynomial with the leading coefficient of 1 in factored form. Alright, here we go. If x is equal to 2, then x minus 2 is a factor. X can equal positive 4i and x can equal negative 4i, which means that x minus 4i is a factor and x plus 4i is a factor. So when I look at my equation, I have x minus 2, x minus 4i, and x plus 4i. We're not allowed to have these i's, so we'll go ahead and FOIL that. X minus 2, and then I have x squared for x times x. And we'll have 4ix. Here's negative 4ix. And here's minus 16i squared. Here's a zero pair. They cancel out. I squared is negative 1, which makes this positive 16. So my factored form is y is equal to x minus 2 as one factor, and then x squared plus 16. If I want to write it in standard form, I would have x cubed minus 2x squared plus 16x minus 32. Alright, my next factors are 3, negative 2, and 5. X is equal to 3, x is equal to negative 2, x is equal to 5, which means x minus 3, x plus 2, and x minus 5 are my factors. So y is equal to, as my factored form, x minus 3, x plus 2, and x minus 5. Now, you'll notice the next part says standard form, which means I need to multiply all them together. I'm just going to take 2 at a time. X squared minus 3x plus 2x means minus x minus 6. And that's going to be times x minus 5. So then I have x cubed minus 5x squared minus x squared plus 5x minus 6x plus 30. We'll double check that. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 5. Negative x squared times x. Negative x times negative 5. Negative 6 times x. Negative 6 times negative 5. So that's going to give me y is equal to x cubed. These are like terms, minus 6x squared. These are like terms, minus x plus 30. All right, we'll talk about the next page in a minute.